Right everyone, it is Finn here and welcome to my Euro 2020 final preview, where in today's video we're going to be discussing the upcoming Euro 2020 final between England and Italy. I'm going to be talking about how both teams have played throughout this tournament so far and what I expect from both England and Italy in the Euro 2020 final. And what a final it is going to be, England versus Italy. I could really give my arguments to why both teams could win this tournament. Looking at Italy, they're on like a 33 game unbeaten run. Defensively, they are a brick wall. On the attacking front, they can be ruthless, where if you look at England, lots of people are saying that England's bench is strong enough to win this competition. Yes, they haven't won a major tournament in 55 years, but there's a lot of expectation on this England team. Once again, defensively, a very solid team, and on the attacking front, they've been scoring for fun as of late. England versus Italy, it is definitely going to be a game to remember, and it's definitely going to be highly competitive. Either one of these two teams can win it, and can I just say, what an entertaining tournament this has been overall. A month of amazing football. We started off with 24 incredible teams, but it all comes down to this. The final game of the tournament, England versus Italy at Wembley in the final game of Euro 2020, which I want to ask you guys to put down in the comment section down below. Who do you think will win Euro 2020? Do you think Euro 2020 is coming home or going to Rome? Do you think England or Italy are winning the competition? I'm interested to see what you guys think down below. But looking at England first, lots of people are saying to get to the final of the competition that they didn't have the most competitive or the most testing run, the most testing path. Looking at their group, people are saying that it was relatively easy. Look, it wasn't a group of death, but I wouldn't say that England's route was necessarily easy. Looking at their group, yes, they had the likes of Scotland, who not many people expected to make to the next stage of the competition, but still some high-profile players in that squad. Looking at Czech Republic, they've got some world-class players in their squad. Schick, fantastic tournament. Suchek, Sufal, they've got amazing players in their squad. Looking at Croatia, they got to the final of the 2018 World Cup. It was not 100% guaranteed that they would win that group. Next stage of the competition, they played the likes of Germany, who no one thought England could beat, but they proved so many people wrong. Next stage, yes, they had kind of a walkover versus Ukraine. They absolutely dominated that game. Next game, yes, in the semi-final, they did play the likes of Denmark, which lots of people are saying England weren't the most ethical, and yes, maybe they cheated their way to the final, which whether they did or whether they didn't, I think that's up to you to decide on whether they did, which by the way, to be able to shine a laser in Schmeichel's eyes, how pathetic do you have to be? And the fact that he still saved the penalty before the rebound, I mean, that's kind of a big stuff you from Schmeichel, in my opinion. That's like getting your dog neutered and then still figuring out that it's still got the dog next door pregnant. I don't know how he did it, but quite impressive, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, England made it through. Lots of people are saying Sterling dived. Once again, I wasn't that convinced with England. That was by far one of their least convincing games this tournament. But at the end of the day, we have to remember, England are in the final for a reason. Defensively solid. Jordan Pickford has already won the Golden Glove Award before the final. He's really stepped up another level. Looking at Jordan Pickford, I remember a few years ago looking at this kid playing for Sunderland saying, why has he got an England international call-up? Surely he's not really going to make it over Joe Hart, surely. But really, he has proved me wrong over the years, and he has been a brilliant goalkeeper, which versus Italy is going to be crucial. I can say this, I feel like both teams could really score for fun in the final, or both teams could totally lock down defensively. Looking at the rest of England's defense, I mean, Kyle Walker, maybe my only weak point in this entire team, to be honest with you. I don't think he's been that impressive, but he did step up another level versus Denmark. But heading to the final, I'd almost consider Reece James, but I think Kyle Walker's probably the best way to go. Defensively, Harry Maguire, being one of the centre-backs of the tournament, has been absolutely brilliant. Other centre-backs with the likes of John Stones, he slipped up from time to time, but once again, really reliable centre-back. Even Mings, when he plays, been brilliant this tournament. In the terms of the left-back position, Luke Shaw. Yes, he slipped up from time to time in terms of defensive or in terms of discipline-wise versus Denmark, which caused that absolutely beautiful free kick, which no matter who you supported, I mean, I'm glad that free kick happened. It was absolutely beautiful. But saying that, England's defense is rock solid, which by the way, guys, if you have not seen, I recently posted a video talking about Luke Shaw's story, how I spoke about how he went from a career-ending injury to becoming one of the best left backs in the entire world. If you guys are interested in seeing that video, make sure to click it in the description down below or in the eye thingy up above, whichever one I'm not too lazy to do. In terms of the midfield for England, they have been solid this tournament, especially when Mason Mount has been able to play. He really adds that attacking aspect. Even when he doesn't play, when Jack Grealish plays in that position, has been brilliant in terms of the defensive midfielders. I mean, yes, bar N'Golo Kante and Paul Pogba, the defensive partnership of the century, Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice, they have been unstoppable. I didn't expect it from Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice, but they have been unstoppable. Now going on to the attacking front, once again a player that I have just mentioned in the likes of Jack Grealish. To be honest, I would almost start Jack Grealish over Raheem Sterling. Yes, that is a preference. If you disagree with me, cool, that's your opinion. I won't call you wrong. But for me personally, I just feel like Jack Grealish gives more to this team. He seems to want the ball more. He plays it like school football, where it's like, give the ball to me and I will score. Yes, Raheem Sterling, one of the top goal scorers in this competition, especially for England. But I do feel like he doesn't always make the correct decisions, and I do feel like going forward versus Italy, Jack Grealish might be a better chance, especially because they are going against a slower defense whose reactions aren't as fast as they used to be. So in terms of winning fouls, I do feel like Jack Grealish could do a solid job. Right wing position, I mean, I thought it was absolutely criminal not to start Jadon Sancho throughout this tournament. But you know what? Bukayo Saka has been the gem to find this tournament. He has really proven to be a diamond pressured by Cole. I mean, looking at this, diamond pressured by Cole, that's not a saying, but I think you guys know what I mean. I mean, throughout the season for Arsenal in the domestic league and the Premier League, I thought he was really, really decent. But I thought to an extent maybe he looked decent because Arsenal weren't looking good this season. But playing for this England national team has proven that Bukayo Saka has a bright future ahead of him. He has been absolutely brilliant. And in terms of the striker for England, I mean, no secret, it is going to be Harry Kane. He's really stepped up in the last few games. And this England national team, through all those players I've just mentioned, they are 100% going to be unstoppable, because that's not even mentioning the likes of Phil Foden or Calvin Lewin or any of the other great players that they have. Bellingham, they've got so many great players in the squad. I think that they could really give Italy a run for their money. But now talking about Italy's side of the spectrum, once again, another team where I wouldn't say that they were 100% tested in their group stage, but saying that Switzerland, Wales and Turkey, either of those three teams in their group, are teams that if you sleep against them, they will take points from you. So for Italy to absolutely dominate that group, they have to be proud of themselves. And they also beat the likes of Belgium and Spain to get to this point of the competition. Let's not forget that Belgium are ranked number 1 in the entire world, and Italy absolutely walked over them. Versus Spain, yes, maybe not the most convincing towards the later stages of the games. Maybe they did sleep a tiny bit, but that happens when both of your centre-backs are due to be in a retirement home anytime soon. They're taking out their pension from this point, pretty much. But at the end of the day, Italy very, very solid. And to face England in the final, I think both teams 100% deserve to be at this stage. I think defensively, Italy have been so solid. Donnarumma has been a fantastic goalkeeper. As I said, Chiellini and Bonucci, yes, they are on the later sides of 30. They are old for footballers. Lots of people are saying, yeah, but so many games in a row, surely they're going to be too tired for the final. Well, evidently not. Throughout this tournament, I think they have been brilliant, and these are two players that are absolutely driven by desire, not energy. I think that they gain their energy from desire. These are two centre-backs that love football, old school centre-backs, and I do think that defensively they will shut down versus England. In terms of Italy's midfield, I think Jorginho has been brilliant so far this tournament. Never been a midfielder to rack up with numbers in terms of goals and assists, but linking up play, he has been brilliant. Barella, when he plays, he has been fantastic. Verratti, once again, he is a player who can be very quiet, but on his day, he is brilliant. It's maybe only the attacking point of view for Italy that I think they have struggled. Immobile, an incredible player for his club, but when it comes to his country, I don't think Immobile has been clinical enough, and that could be costly versus England. I think, as I said, either of these two teams could win it. Both teams have been challenged heavily throughout this competition, but to get to the final, that definitely says something for both of these teams. Both of these teams are absolutely fantastic. They could both win this tournament, but I won't give a prediction on who I think will win, because that is up to football to decide, because football is a beautiful game where absolutely anything can happen. Let's not forget that this is the same tournament that brought us Switzerland beating France. That is why we love football, because absolutely anything can happen, and whether it's going to be England to beat a 55-year drought or to be Italy, a team that hasn't even qualified for recent international tournaments, either of these two teams can be very, very proud of themselves to getting to the stage of the competition. But you know what, guys, that is it for my preview for the competition. Yes, I know it's a tiny bit all over the place, but I wanted to give you guys my opinion on both of these teams. Don't forget, guys, if you do like regular football content, make sure to subscribe down below. I've been making a lot of content about the Euros over the last month, and I'll continue making regular football content after the Euros have finished. So if you like regular football content and you're not subscribed, make sure that you do subscribe down below, along with commenting what kind of content would you like to see on this channel, so that I can make that content for you guys. But guys, this has been Finn, FYNN, and to get to the Euro 2020 final, England versus Italy, what a final this is going to be. Two absolutely top dogs that are here to prove a point. Let's see what happens. Guys, this has been Finn, FYNN. Is it coming home or is it going to Rome? Cheers.